Douglas Lima versus Michael Venom Page 2, the rematch just took place in the main event of Bellator 267, and I thought I'd give my reaction to the fight I just witnessed. It was a good fight. It wasn't crazily entertaining. It wasn't a war back and forth. There was no sudden victory out of nowhere for MVP or Douglas Lima. It wasn't so crazy as the first fight was, going back and forth, Lima getting rocked, then coming back and KOing MVP, but it was a very interesting fight that went to a split decision. MVP was the winner, and I truly believe that MVP should have won that fight. I don't think this was a robbery. I know there's a lot of people out there that are saying this should have gone to Douglas Lima, including one of the judges, and by the way, including John McCarthy on the commentary as well, which we'll talk about in a second, because I really don't believe a commentator should be openly scoring very close and contested rounds on a live broadcast. I think that's the stupidest thing ever, and it really annoys me, and now I'm really annoyed at John McCarthy. Either way, I thought MVP should have won that fight 2-1. There was moments where he dropped Douglas Lima. In the first round, I understand that maybe you could say, in one of those knockdowns that looked like it could have been a knockdown, MVP just knocked Douglas Lima off balance. But that's something that happened still. Fair play, it was not Douglas Lima getting completely switched off unconscious and then just popping back up to his feet afterwards. He got tagged by MVP with a punch, and regardless of what else happened, he ended up on the canvas. Okay, and when he got on top of MVP at the end of the first round, and I believe the first round is the only one that's up for grabs here for either guy to take it. I think if people believe that Lima won, they believe he won the first round, which I just don't understand, because I understand MVP's one of the times that he knocked down Lima in the first round wasn't really a switch-off concussive knockdown, but another time in the first round, MVP lunges in, lands a clean 1-2 right on the top of the head of Douglas Lima, and Lima goes down backwards and stops himself from going down, or doesn't stop himself from going down, stops himself from being laid out flat and pops himself right back up, but he did get knocked down in that first round. So how is this even an argument right now? MVP tagged Lima in the first round with a 1-2, knocked him off balance a bit, tapped him another time in the first round with a 1-2, and put him down for a second, and Lima got back up. That's a knockdown, okay? That's a knockdown. So Lima wins round 1 because no, not Lima. MVP wins round 1. I'm sounding like these biased commentators right now. MVP wins the first round. Lima got on top at the end of the first round, but he did not do nearly enough damage to warrant giving that round to him whatsoever. I understand he was on top. I understand he was doing some damage with certain shots, but other than that, MVP was just getting wrist control, just like the first fight, and Lima wasn't really able to do too much on top. Landed an elbow, landed a couple of punches to the body. It's not like he was raining down ground and pound like at the end of the third round of Volkanovski versus Ortega. He was landing some decent shots on top, few and far between. MVP put him down in the first round. You've got to give the first round to MVP. The second round comes around, and this is where something crazy happened. MVP drops Lima, and I believe just outstrikes him anyway, but hurts him in that round, puts him down again, off balance, whatever. He's landing a punch, and Lima's ending up on the ground. In close fights, that's being scored by the judges, and you should know that if you're Douglas Lima, and the commentators and the media members that scored this unanimously in favour of Douglas Lima. I feel like they're just being salty that MVP is this arrogant, confident guy, and they wanted him to get KO'd by Douglas Lima, and it didn't work out for them whatsoever. So MVP puts him down in the second round. He wins that round. Lima didn't do too much, but at one moment, I believe in the second round, he leg kicked MVP off balance, put him down, and then went for that shovel uppercut that he landed in the first fight that got the KO. It landed on MVP, but this time, MVP was looking at the punch, he knew it was coming, and he survived it and didn't get rocked or dropped or concussed in any way whatsoever. But even that moment was such a glimpse at deja vu. You knew that's exactly what Lima was preparing to do. He was preparing to knock MVP off balance as he rushed in, and then look for that shovel uppercut again. It was clearly the game plan in his first fight. Now it's the game plan in his second fight as well, but MVP survived, put down Lima in that second round, plus just outstruck him a little bit as well. He was eating some leg kicks, but he's able to switch stances, so they didn't really affect him too much. He landed some good oblique kicks to the leg, some good front leg side kicks to the knee as well, good side kicks to the body, a couple of kicks upstairs I believe he went for as well, a couple of leg kicks of his own, but he landed a bunch of good shots in that fight, a bunch of good shots that looked like they put Douglas Lima off balance, that looked like they hurt Douglas Lima as well. A lot of 1-2s landed from MVP, and the third round was the one where Lima definitely won, however, and I want to talk about what's next for MVP after this. But in the third round, Lima lands a good shot, whilst MVP's off balance, puts him down. Good shot by Douglas Lima. MVP comes back, lands a couple of good 1-2 combos, a couple of good shots on the feet that land on Lima. Really good 1-2 combos. He was firing them off all night long. Rushing in, 1-2, as Lima shells up in the guard. They're landing on the top of the head around this area here, just behind the ear. And then Lima obviously gets rocked by that, comes back composed, decently okay, not too badly rocked, just had to readjust himself. Gets the takedown again on MVP, ends up on top, this time doing a bit more ground and pound. Not enough for a 10-8 round whatsoever. He really should have poured it on at the end if he wanted that 10-8 round. Not enough for a 10-8 round for Douglas Lima, but enough for a 10-9. I had it the first 2 rounds for MVP, the last round for Douglas Lima, and I made money on picking MVP as well, so I'll take that shit. I had him by KO, but I'll take it by decision either way. Man, MVP won. I don't know how people aren't seeing this as an MVP win right now. I thought it was pretty clear. He looked good. He moved in and out. He was supremely confident. He had Skepta singing his walkout song. And I think you could just tell once Lima was in the cage and it was time for MVP's walkout, you could tell that Lima was kind of starting to feel the pressure of the situation. He's on a 2-fight losing streak. He needs this one to get back into the title picture at 170 pounds. He's fighting a guy that he's already lost to, that he knows can rock him, that he knows can concuss him, that he knows can put him down, that he knows is going to try and make a highlight out of him. And he's having Skepta walk him to the cage. And he's doing all of this stuff, and he's doing all of the arrogance that he usually does, looking supremely confident. And then you pan over to Lima's corner, and Lima's like sweating in the cage. I think he looked very hesitant out there. And I think that's the new Lima. He looked hesitant against Gegard Mousasi. He looked hesitant against Yaroslav Amosov. He doesn't seem to be pulling the trigger very much anymore. Very Tyron Woodley-esque. Lima doesn't seem to be able to handle people pressuring him. He doesn't seem to handle people really making him worry about something, whether it be takedowns or KOs. Lima looked very gun-shy, very hesitant, didn't throw as much as he needed to, didn't get as busy enough on the ground that he needed to either, and Lima lost the fight. So, here's what's next. MVP versus Yaroslav Amosov. This is where it ends for MVP. Lima is able to take you down and keep you on the ground. Amosov is going to, I understand there's a chance that MVP flying knees him as he goes for a takedown. There's always that fluky chance in MMA that MVP lands that weird KO on Yaroslav Amosov. But watching Amosov out-grapple Lima and then watching Lima out-grapple MVP is not a good sign for MVP. Plus, he started to slow down in that fight against Lima. Lost the 3rd round because of it, because he wasn't as busy. He wasn't as light on his feet anymore. He wasn't as powerful anymore, so Lima was able to get a bit more respect. Amosov's better at cardio than Douglas Lima. He pushes a higher pace than Douglas Lima. He's got better grappling than Douglas Lima. It's going to be a 5-round fight whenever he takes on Michael Venom Page, and I assume that's going to be the next fight they make, probably in December, maybe early next year, also at the Wembley Stadium. Who knows? I just don't think MVP is going to beat him. Yaroslav Amosov is a real beast. He's very good. I really wanted to see MVP come over to the UFC once he got the Bellator belt, but I just don't see it happening after that performance. Will be going with Amosov, probably by submission as well, or just by decision, grinding out MVP over the 5 rounds. MVP seems to have a problem on bottom, where he can neutralize their offense, but he has no offense himself on bottom. He has no ability to get back to his feet. He just sits there on bottom whilst they're on top of him, looking for wrist control because he's got big hands that can clamp down on your wrists, and just accepts bottom position. You can't do that against Amosov. He's going to be landing shots to your body, landing shots to the head. He's going to be looking to pass over the guard like Lima wasn't really. Lima's going to sit there in full guard, try and posture up, try and land some big shots while you're trying to get wrist control. He was looking for elbows, but Amosov's going to be looking to pass the guard. He's going to be looking to let you get back up for a second so you give up your back. Then he gets a body lock and ragdolls you back down to the ground where he's in side control. Now it's a different situation. I think Amosov does beat MVP, but MVP beat Douglas Lima. I'm just going to check the Bellator Instagram right now because I feel like it's going to say a lot of Lima should have won. I don't know how. I don't know how Lima should have won. Weird, someone says. Y'all need new judges. Giving MVP the win because you're in a London card. Easy 29-28 Lima. Hometown guarantee. The biggest robbery that is 3 rounds and not 5. Robbery. Lima won that fight. Bellator whack. This fool got pumped and manhandled, but nice wrist control. Robbery. What? I don't know how people are seeing this as a robbery. They're just literally, and this is what they're outing themselves as, salty pussies. They are salty little soy boys on Instagram. Anyone on social media should not be allowed a fucking opinion. YouTube comment sections are where it's at. That is where the logic prevails. Anyone in a comment section of an Instagram page or a Twitter feed is just straight delusional, retarded, and most likely doesn't know what gender they are. Like, straight up, like, these weirdos think that MVP should have lost that fight. He put down Lima in the first round with a 1-2. It landed behind the ear. Lima toppled backwards, landed on the ground, put his hands down, popped himself back up. If it was an off-balance knockdown, Lima would have fell away from MVP. Lima fell to the side of MVP. Let me try and how do I describe this in a two-dimensional format? Fuck. So, this is MVP. I wish I had a black finger for this. It would make more sense. Right. This is MVP over here. This is Lima. This is not a knockdown. You rush him with a punch. Oh, he fell that way. MVP rushed in, landed a punch. Lima went this way. And MVP continued forward with his momentum. That's a knockdown right there. That's how I'm describing this. Understand again with this visual demonstration, okay? MVP, Lima. MVP, boom. If Lima falls backwards because of the body hitting him, that's not a knockdown. It's like an off-balance clash. MVP landed on Lima's chin. Lima went this way. And fell that way. That's a knockdown in the first round. It happened twice. And even if it's not a knockdown, the judges don't know that. They don't have slow motion replay. So even in your fantasy world where that doesn't really count that he put him down on the canvas twice, Lima was off balance at the time. Anyone is off balance when they get knocked down. That's the point of a fucking knockdown. Okay? They're being knocked down because they're not in the right position in the first place. And the striker has done that to them to knock them down. Anyway, people aren't counting it, but you know who is? The judges. They're watching around. They're watching Lima get on top and do fucking nothing to MVP other than get his wrists controlled. But whatever. All good. Lima's not going to beat Amasov, but MVP's not going to beat Amasov, but he definitely beat Lima there 1-2. I don't understand how people don't see that. They're just salty, straight up. That's exactly how it is. And they're whining about it not being a 5-rounder. It's Bellator. They don't do 5-rounders. How are there so many casuals nowadays? I don't understand how there are so many casuals in the Instagram section of MMA feeds. You're on Bellator MMA's Instagram page. Know a bit about MMA. It's not a 3-rounder. Stop complaining. Lima knew it wasn't a 3-rounder going into it. He should have been more busy on top. He wasn't. He's an idiot. And don't give me that Yoel Romero bullshit excuse that he's fucking... Oh, he thought there was 5 rounds. He didn't think there were 5 rounds. Fucking bullshit. Anyway, Lima won. No, MVP won. I'm being brainwashed. I'm being brainwashed by social media to say that Lima won. MVP won. You want to know why people think Lima won? Because when they're not watching and they're making jokes at a fight that's not too interesting or entertaining, and they're reaching for pizza and they're eating it, and they're dipping this and they're dipping that, and they're having a sip of their drink, not looking at the TV, and John McCarthy, all whilst they're not paying too much attention, is telling them that Lima won the fucking first round, they're going to just say to themselves after their bite of pizza, oh, I guess MVP's down a round. He needs to win this one back. I don't understand. John McCarthy, shut the fuck up in future. Bisping does the same thing. DC does the same thing. It pisses me off when commentary start actively scoring very close and competitive rounds. It's a problem. It's a problem in MMA and needs to be stopped. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Hopefully MVP beats Yaroslav Amasov. I don't see it happening, but if he does, let's put him in there straight away with Wonder Boy. You get me? It's going to be a good time. Toodle pip.